What is the biggest mistake or the biggest regret you have in life?
I got involved in a reality TV show.
This is Todd Nepola. He's built billions in real estate by finding value where nobody else can. What was it?
The Housewives of Miami. I love the game of real estate like playing Monopoly, so I just keep rolling all the distributions and funds I have into buying more and more real estate. But you gotta be able to delay a lot of
I'm addicted to books like I'm addicted to big tits. Guys, Mark here. We're back at Shapiro TV, and I am here with Todd Nepola, okay, or Nepola, the proper way of pronouncing it. Just don't call him late for dinner, okay? And he loves pasta just like I do.
I do love pasta.
And the crazy thing is that he is such a charismatic, polarizing figure when he talks about his deals. Now, our space in real estate is very defined. We're in the multifamily. We do some new builds, vertical for sale product. But he is a value add, identifies retail projects, and he creates value where nobody sees it. And for me, that is a lost art, especially in this space. And Todd, say hello, give him a little spiel. I want to thank you for the book. Thank you for writing on the inside.
See that?
Okay. I'm going to write whenever my book finally comes out. We think February. And we'll give you one of the first
I appreciate
copies.
that. I'm a big reader. I tell everybody you got to read, so I love to read. That's why I wrote the book.
What's the last book you read?
I'm actually reading right now an interesting book, and it says, this book will make you dangerous, but not in a bad way. So I said, you caught my attention. But I read a lot of books, so I pick up everything. But I read books on whether it's on relationships, business, real estate, whatever it could be. I don't read fiction, just only books that are self-help kind of things. But I go through a lot of books a year.
I'm addicted to books like I'm addicted to big tits.
See that?
So,
I might be right there with you.
And I read books about big tits. Okay?
They still have books on that stuff?
They do.
I thought it was only on my iPad.
It's plastic surgery. No. Actually, I'm reading a book called Conversations with God. And it's pretty weird. But when you start reading it, it really grabs you.
Yeah.
And it's this psychiatrist who believes he talked with God. And it talks about the conversations. And they're pretty cool.
It's funny when you get to our stage in life how the books change. Because the book I just finished reading was by a guy, I believe his name is Albert Cohen, I think it was. Forgive me if I got his name wrong. But he's a professor at Harvard who teaches happiness. And all his courses are like on what is the definition of happiness and why is it that Harvard has the highest depression rate of any university in the planet when these kids are all overachievers? And his answer is very simple. It's supposed to be stressful, but people don't want to deal with stress. And he says, did you think you were going to get into Harvard and it was going to be easy? Did you think you were going to sleep for 4 years because you weren't going to? But the book I'm reading, or just finished reading, it talks about when you get to the midlife, into your 50s, how all of a sudden you realize like possibly some of your best days are behind you and the next 50 won't be as good, and how to get ready for it and what you got to realize. And you don't always want to be on that hamster wheel. So it's interesting how the books change.
When did you start to say the things to your kids that your father said to you?
Probably when they were born. I had a tough Italian dad. He was tough on me, and I always tried to be tough on my kids. I have 2 daughters, so I try to lead more so by example. But I always thought my dad's lessons always made sense.
So you're a girl dad.
Yeah.
Me too.
The greatest thing.
4 daughters.
It's amazing. Good for you.
Pedicures and manicures?
They do it all.
No, I'm talking about you.
Me, I don't do it, but I would take them when they were little.
I tell you.
Now I just pay for it.
Yes. Oh, shit. Isabella's getting her nails done. I have to sell her some money.
See?
She's like, Dad, I need to pay them in cash now.
Yeah, it's another whole world that is Zelling and stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody carries cash.
Zell's pretty cool.
It is, but nobody carries cash.
I used to probably still carry cash. I do.
Yeah.
People actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're tipping the guy at the valet or, the guy at the car wash, or just when people are, I've noticed this a lot more, people asking for money on the side of the road. And, I don't know why I'm compelled, because for me, one of the things in the Torah and Judaism, we don't really believe that the money belongs to us. we believe that we hold on to it and that we give it out. And it doesn't have to be just specifically for someone who's Jewish. It has to be for somebody who's in need. So,
Well, you have a very large audience, and what you just said on your show is going to require a lot more people going to be standing outside now.
they're coming. They're definitely
They're
coming.
going to say, wait a second, I know where to go.
You know, it's funny. You'd be surprised. We don't get that many people.
Yeah.
You know, here we hired this one guy. He was homeless to come and clean. He was sleeping here. And we got him cleaned up. He got a bicycle, and he disappeared. Albert. You know, he would come, he would bathe here, you know.
Well, you did the right thing. God willing is doing great now.
I'm not sure where he is. I hope he's doing wonderful. So, how did you get into real estate?
On accident.
No.
Totally on accident. And I like the young generation to know that, because when I got out of college, the dream was to be a stockbroker. And everybody at my age wanted to be Gordon Gekko, I always said, without going to jail. And I became a stockbroker. It was a great business. But again, you're going back now to the mid-1990s. So we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have access. So the only way you can get paid a commission, which the job was commission-based, was to be in the office. And I was doing very well because the market was good. I wasn't a great stockbroker. It was great timing. And everything went straight up in the 90s. It was the dot-com era.
Yep.
So the problem was that I realized if I didn't go to work for a couple of days, I made zero. So I started looking at ideas. Where could I invest some of this money and get money in the mailbox, which now everybody calls cash flow? And I looked at a lot of different things. I tell people I looked at buying a chain of payphones, which thank God I didn't buy. I looked at franchises, but I knew about real estate, and my dad had owned 2 properties, and I said, those pay him rent. So I found this warehouse, and I said, I'm going to buy this warehouse. And what I'm going to do is, it was a foreclosure, and the guy owed $1.2 million on the deal. The bank took it back. They were asking $600,000. They sold it to me for $575,000. And I had this idea. It was 7 tenants. There was 3 vacancies. So out of the 7 units, I said, I'm going to rent those spaces. The 4 existing tenants, they'll certainly want to sign a new lease because the last lease was gone in the foreclosure. I'll collect the rents. I'll pay the bills. I'll clean it up. Then I'll refinance it, get all my money back, and go buy another one. Just that simple. And everybody laughed at me. Everyone told me I was crazy, and why would I buy real estate? And I always said, including the real estate attorney I hired, was laughing at me the day of the closing. You're a fool. And that was in June of 1998. I still own that property today.
Here in Florida?
And I know I'm good friends with and friendly with them now.
Are you you're born and
No, I'm born in New York.
What part?
In Staten Island, New York.
Staten Island.
Yeah.
Staten Island. Pretty girls in Staten Island.
I don't go there very often anymore, but maybe.
My suit guy is from Staten Island.
See that?
Bobby, and then his cousin is out of Boca, Tommy.
I bet there's more pretty girls in Boca.
You know,
I go to Boca more.
I don't spend that much time in Boca.
Do you spend a lot of time in Staten Island?
Well, Bobby now, you know, he comes here,
Yeah.
he takes care of us. You know, we'll have him come to the office. Everybody gets suits.
I'm going to get in trouble. I have a lot of family in Staten Island. So yeah, Staten Island's great.
Yeah. What did I watch? What was the show that I watched? It wasn't Married to the Mob. It was one of these reality shows, and it took place in Staten Island. And Sammy the Bull's daughter.
I know it is.
Lived. I forgot the name of the
Mob
show.
Wives.
Mob Wives. Yes. Yeah. There was a couple hot girls on it. So, you know, I don't know why I was watching it.
Well, they were mob wives, so I would say they're hot. Regardless, I wouldn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, you definitely.
Or maybe I wouldn't. I don't want to get in trouble either way.
You know what? I don't know. I say so many fucking stupid things.
Yeah.
So, but everything just, I look at this stuff and I see how ridiculous society has become.
Yeah.
I see how ridiculous everything's happened with social media. And I think one of the things why being religious and observing Shabbat is so important to me is because it keeps me centered and focused. Yeah. And we pray a few times a day, and it gives me that balance. So if I do finally ever get divorced from this woman, it's been now 8 months trying to get divorced from her, I will marry a Jewish girl so I can have Jewish kids, okay? But it's not easy to meet a Jewish girl that meets the standard of the type of woman that I want, and without the Jewish guilt and the Israeli girls, Jewish Israeli girls are pretty, but they're super hard. I mean, they're like edgy. I don't know how about Italian girls, although my high school sweetheart was Italian. It's easier to own real estate than being in a relationship.
Oh, hands down. For both parties. I don't think girls think we're such treats either. I think we're all pains in the asses. But a personal relationship is a tough one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What inspired you to write this book?
You know, my brother was always very into charity, and I always said, you know, he was my older brother, and he would go spend a week building houses for Habitat for Humanity. He'd go clean the seashore. He'd go do all kinds of things, and all I would do was write a check. And as I got older, I said, it doesn't feel so good to just write a check. I want to do something. And because I love real estate, I brought interns into my office. And when I was doing that and I started doing some podcasts, they said it'd be a really good idea to write a book. So I decided I wanted to write a book to my interns. This is a book that's very easy to understand. It's for anybody who wants to learn the basics of real estate, whether they want to invest in a publicly traded company, buy multifamily, whatever they want to do. It talks about all different sides of real estate. And then what I did is I decided, because I don't want people to think I'm selling a book, I give all proceeds of the book to charity, so I get nothing out of it. But it's a great introduction to real estate for people. And I've given it to a lot of very successful real estate people, and they said, the book is great even for them because it's like a reminder of the basics. So it's the basic tools.
Well, you know, it's funny. Every time I did a deal that got out of my box and it got super complicated, it turned out to be a shitty ass deal.
Right.
Every time I kept very simple to the premise of what I did, how I did it, and it was in my little buy box, those deals work just fine.
They will.
Okay. And you probably, just like us, you always make your money when you buy the deal on the buy side. That's where you're not realizing your gain until you actually sell it or you finish repositioning it,
right,
and then refinance it. So you bought the commercial warehouse, you cleaned it up, you rewrote the leases, and then you refinanced it. And what happened after that?
So I did all this on my own without some strategy or Argus or business plan. That's why I always tell people, I went to Office Depot and I bought little template leases and I wrote the leases myself. I had a checkbook. I had to pay the 5-6 bills, which was, you know, the mortgage, FP&L, things like that. And then when I refinanced it, I bought it for $575. That was in June. In October-ish, November, they did an appraisal. It came in at $800,000 now that it's full. They gave me $600,000. So I got all my money back, plus like $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, and the property was cash flow positive, almost $5,000 a month.
That's amazing.
Now at this point, I'm 25 years old, and this is going into the 1990s. I'm like, I don't spend $5,000 a month. I said, holy shit, I could retire. Not that I ever would, but that was when I understood what financial freedom was. I said, I don't have to do anything. And once you have that, and that's captured, even with a little bit of money, you're off to the races. So then I bought another one, and just kept on buying more for 30 years. And we never sell. I've sold a few, but virtually never sell.
You know, that for me, that's the biggest mistake I ever made. We sold about 7,700 units to a company called Aimco. I don't know if you know the multifamily space, but they're one of the bigger multifamily operators, public. And I thought I wanted to be wealthy, but I didn't realize I already was. And I already had everything that I needed. But I sold it. And that's the biggest single regret in the real estate business.
Yep.
Because today we ended up, I ended up netting, I don't know, maybe about 140 million. I ended up today, those assets are probably worth 2 billion. And I will never, ever, ever, ever sell anything.
And people don't understand that. And that's like a hard conversation because they say, well, if you bought a property for $5 million and you did all this work and it's worth 10, don't you want to sell it and go buy another one? I'm like, I would rather refinance it. Or then they say, well, what's the point of having all this real estate? Why don't you sell it and go buy 3 homes and 6 boats? I'm like, because the real estate is not a game to get to boats. I want to buy more real estate. So I love the game of real estate like playing Monopoly. So I just keep rolling all the distributions and funds I have into buying more and more real estate. But you got to be able to delay a lot of gratification.
Your majority of your portfolio is retail?
I'd say probably 85% of it's retail.
Is it? It's gentrified retail,
Yes.
non anchored.
So we have what would qualify as some anchors, but not like the anchors. Like we don't have like power centers with Walmart and Lowe's and things like that. Our anchors are Dollar Generals and things like that
Not a
nature.
bad
So
anchor.
smaller ones.
Not a bad
Bravo
anchor.
supermarkets. Once it gets to the quality of like a public center, which I would love to own public centers, there's really nothing for me to do with, as we've been saying in the car on the way here, a public center with the Chipotle and a Bank of America.
The returns are a lot smaller.
It can only go down. I'm just buying a bond essentially. So I like to buy properties that I could put some value at in where they do out parcels, remodelings, things like that.
Are you doing it only in the state of Florida? Or are you
Only
doing
in
it
Florida.
only in Florida?
Only pretty much in South Florida. I would love to get into Orlando. I just put an offer in Orlando, but I got beat. But I like Orlando. I like Fort Myers, Naples, those areas, but I haven't bought anything there. So far, it's Port St. Lucie, Riviera Beach, South.
So you're very concentrated.
Yeah.
No reason why you've never gone on a national basis?
I love Florida. I think it's probably one of the greatest states to be in as far
is.
as taxes, weather, tourism, the economy. We're always pretty insulated and protected.
Yep.
And it's my edge. I have a great team here at Current Capital, so we do all the leasing and the management of our own properties. And I don't really bring any value to a property in North Dakota, but I understand the politics and the laws in the state of Florida, I understand how grants work and everything in zoning, so stay in my own lane, so to speak.
So what about some of these tertiary markets? And I see a lot of these dilapidated assets or just undervalued or under optimized assets. That's the myopathy of what you're doing, of what you're looking at?
I'm looking for something that I could use my skills to add value to.
Yep.
So that could be a rundown property. I'm actually looking at a portfolio now that these guys bought it and they were going to build apartments. So they allowed the occupancy to drain one property. It's 80% vacant. Wow. And now they just say you can't build. So can't go vertical. So these guys are not retail operators. So they don't want to spend the time and the energy and the money to release them out. They just want to blow them out and move on. So I'm looking for that opportunity. I just bought a deal 2 months ago, July, whatever, 3 months ago. And the leases, there's a lot of term left on some of the leases. Some go out 20 years, but they're like at 30, 40% of market. So I'll buy that deal and just sit there and let it absorb and get better over time. So I'm just looking for something special, not just the regular. I wouldn't buy a Starbucks on the corner of Main and Main.
Do you, on those deals, do you do anything from a reposition standpoint or you just let them be?
Depends. So this last property bought, the property was spectacular, so we didn't have to do anything. We're just doing a little landscaping and a little TLC. And a lot of properties we bought like 2 years ago, we're doing a complete facade renovation. One I bought about a year ago, we're doing all new impact glass, full renovation. So it just depends. It's deal by deal. The one I'm looking at with this group right now that's selling it, the properties are great. Maybe they need a coat of paint. They purposely let all the occupancy go down. But they were a fund and they were going to build, and now you're not. So that's where I come in, and I have the team to lease them out. They could get approvals. You just can't build. It just makes no sense right now to go vertical. If your shovel's not in the ground, it's too much risk. We are a little oversaturated in apartments, so you could build them. I tell people, and they always say, "Well, someone lives there." I say, "Someone's going to live there, but the developer might not make money, so he may not be the owner. So it might go to somebody else."
We have here 3 fairly new deals built in the last 24 months that were posted. We partnered with an Italian family office and built this building 2 blocks from here, the Strata, 392 units. The real up in the deal was the almost 500 parking spaces.
Yeah.
And Fidelity was our partner in the deal. And right prior to us beginning our leasing effort, they came to us and said, "We'd like to buy you out." And I said, "Thank God," because I didn't want to go through, and they're still struggling at 80% over here. And there was a deal in Midtown. I don't know if you remember that this used to be, Midtown used to be a train station. It used to be it was a dirty site. It used to be, where they turned the trains around. And there was a building there that just went back to Bank OZK. And they will not answer me when I'm asking them about the deal.
Right.
They're like, "Well, we don't have the deal." I'm like, "How do you not have the deal?" I said, I had a title bring down. I see that you took the deal back. What are you talking about? well, we don't really have the deal. I'm like, what does that even mean?
That means they don't want the feds to know they have the deal because they don't want any, the regulators to see it.
Well,
Yet they want to delay it as long as they can.
You know, they don't have to mark their assets to market.
Right.
So, which is why we see all these deals filtering out.
Right.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to go to Monday, going to our new asset in Oklahoma City, right on the river. And the only reason I bought it in Tulsa is because my favorite show is with Stallone.
That's
Tulsa
a great
King.
show.
It's a great fucking show. They're like, you want to buy a property in Tulsa? I'm like, yeah, what the fuck?
Can Stallone
Like,
come
oh,
endorse it?
actually, it's a really good deal. So, and it's a good sized deal, like 682 units. But that deal we're buying at about maybe 50. Well, this is personally our own opinion, about 52 cents on the dollar. And I mean, why would I? I'll buy everything I possibly can.
Sure.
And you know, I don't really think people actually realize that the last decade and a half, all these guys could raise money. They have no concept how to operate. And I changed my mentality from, well, retail's probably a little different, but multi's no different. It's the same thing. That I don't really care about the location anymore, as long as it fits within our acquisition criteria. It's the ability to execute. So location is not the bellwether for me. It's execute. Because you can take anything and create value in it if you know how to do it.
I agree with you.
So I'll give you my only 2 retail deals I ever did. I hate the business. I'll never do it again. But because I had the wrong partner, I partnered with this guy, and I was young, 26, and we built these 2 strip centers. I don't want to call them anchored, but one had a CVS in it, one had a Dairy Mart, one had a bank in it, and a card gallery, so the lower tier. And the one that had the card gallery in, I bought it from Renan Katz. And in Yiddish we call him mensch. What a man, what a gentleman to do business with. We had the hardest time closing it. I should have known that was an issue because we were closing it with a bank called CBT, and the bank failed like 2 weeks before we were closing the deal. We had a commitment from them, so I had to go back to him. This is when he lived in Massachusetts.
Oh, a long time ago.
And and I went to his office and I met his son Brad, and I told him, I said, I can't close. I said, you can take my deposit. And he's like, I don't want your deposit. What do you need me to do? And I said, do you have a bank that will finance this? And he said, yeah, I do. And we were going to finish the build out because he had built it, but he hadn't broken up the bays. He hadn't done any of that. And he had a few leases in place, and we finished it. And my partner was supposed to bring a portion of the equity to the deal. He never brought a penny. I won't say his name because I don't want to give him that much respect. And I ended up selling them and writing a check to get out of them. And I've only done that on those 2 deals, and I've only done that on one other deal. And that's why I got out of retail.
That's all it'll take.
One bad kick in the ass, kick in the head.
See, I follow Renan's strategy. I'm a big fan of Renan. He lives where I live up in Sunny Isles, and I think he's extraordinary too. I mean, he once made a joke that, how do you get so successful? You live a really long time. I think he's almost 90 and he still goes to work, but he doesn't build anything. Builds nothing, and it's too hard.
So I love that, okay? And we built a lot of stuff, but and there's too many variables when you're building it.
Yeah.
Okay. So why not buy something that you can have immediate cash flow day one, or have built-in equity day one? Because if you're buying it, you're not going to pay retail.
That's right.
I inherently can't pay retail for anything. I wasn't raised that way. And we're going to fight for every penny. But you close. As long as you close, you're going to have more deals than you ever know what to do with.
I'm
So
not a developer. Don't see myself ever becoming a developer. It's just too many moving parts to go wrong. Too many. Like you said, you guys built this great property and your partners bought you out, but you're at 80%. Most people say 80%, that's pretty good. Yeah, but you're losing money at 80%. So that's the problem. You need 90+% before you're in the black. So that's where things get tricky. And you don't know what's going to happen with, when you start, are you going to get the variances? Are you going to get approvals? Are you going to get the debt? Then you got floating rate loans. They went from 3-4% to 8% in a blink of an eye. Then you get hit with COVID. Then you get hit with windstorm insurance. So I just buy a building. I know what I got right out of the gate. I know if I want to put a facade on it. I know who my tenants are, if I want to throw them out. But like you said, I already have the structure. And if you want to build something, it could take you 5 to 7 years between the time you buy the property to the time it closes. If I just do one property, I already own 7 properties and you jerking around with one. So I'd rather not be the developer. It's sexy.
You're gonna tell me I'm crazy. So we're the equity in a deal in Miami Gardens for a project that is a carbonized block construction product. So it's being built on a platform on a parking garage, and it's 362 units plus 90,000 square feet of retail. And it's my friend from my temple came to us and asked us if we would help him with the equity. And then when I actually dug into the deal with all the incentives that they're giving and the need in that marketplace, and then this whole New York thing happened, I think it's going to work out really well. But I don't like doing development deals. I mean, we've done a lot of them, okay? And, we got super lucky with the stuff we bought in Miami Beach, stuff on the ocean, on Ocean Drive, on the dry side, stuff inland. We got super, super lucky. And if it weren't for the partnership that I had in our multifamily space with George Perez, I wouldn't have been invited into those deals. And then our basis wouldn't have been so low where we could actually build these things. And I mean, you probably know the same things I know, because in the condo space here, there's no other state in the country that you can use the deposits. We typically don't use the last 10%, but you can get a bond for it. It's called a deposit release bond. It's crazy. And if you're taking 30 or 40 or 50%, you can typically build your job.
Yeah.
You got your construction loan. You're going to use that money until the construction loan kicks in, and you can typically build the deal. But the market is definitely softening up. So we are in the process of doing a fund. We have 2 funds. We have an NFL fund for my friends who are NFL players, and then we have a fund called the Founders Fund. And the Founders Fund is very specific. It's only distressed deals downtown. And you'd be surprised how many distressed deals are downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how they cover it up. So I'm not even sure. But even like we were at the Dolce & Gabbana building doing something with them, and we're actually doing something with them in December. You're welcome to come. It's an invitation only for just 50 guys. You can bring these guys. There'll be a few football.
52 guys.
There'll be a few football players there, but mostly very, very, very wealthy guys. And it's just something that we're doing because my team we do an event every couple months. We typically do them here, but the girls are hot. Okay, but I mean, it's beautiful. The buildings are beautiful. The product's beautiful. The Trumps have done an incredible job. I'm not talking about our president. I'm talking about Julius, his brother. And Michael Dresser, sick vision, okay? I mean, actually, I go to Fuego a lot. You go to Fuego?
I do not. Here and there.
So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good meat. So it's definitely better than like Prime or well, Smith and Wesson's pretty good, but it's a steakhouse. It's a kosher steakhouse.
Yeah.
It's just too loud. There's like 40 birthday parties, and screaming kids. But I cannot believe what happened to Aventura and to Sunny Isles, and whether it's Boca, whether it's here, this used to be the garment district, whether it's the beach. I mean, I cannot believe, like, from my first marriage, my old house, I can't believe what they rented for on a monthly basis. I'm like, I paid $820,000 for the house that I knocked down, that I built a new house on. I don't understand his mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know if you see that, because sometimes it scares me. And now, we only bought 2 deals last year. I bought one apartment deal, and I bought a deal in Malibu, which I said I'd never, ever, ever buy in Malibu in the state of California. But I bought a deal for $522 a foot on Pacific Coast Highway that got renovated the last round of fires in 2019, and I'm converting it.
Right.
With, I don't know if you know Dan Levinson from BH3.
Oh, yeah.
So he did Privé. He
Wrote a
wanted
great
to call
book,
it
too.
Privé Malibu. So, yeah. And we're killing it.
Well, you see, those are good operators. So a lot of the names you throw out, like, that were related, you could say Terra, you could say Desert. These are guys that know how to build.
Yeah.
And they don't have to build, but they know where to go to the market. So, like, obviously we all know George Perez is probably the king of Miami development, but he could build super luxury, or he could build, affordable.
What George got his start from Steve doing LIHTC deals.
Right.
And 92, I'm 32. I'm super leveraged. I bought a bunch of stuff, all Southwest, Kendall, 107th, all the way down to 149th Street, almost to Chrome Ave. And I'm struggling. My occupancy is sub 80.
Mm-hmm.
I'm barely making debt service. And I'm telling my wife, I'm like, I'm stressed. She's like, don't worry, honey, it's going to work out. And a fucking Hurricane Andrew hit St. Andrew, okay? We go immediately from in 90 days to a stabilized occupancy better than 90. And then I told her, I said, look, I'm going to take a mortgage on our house. And she said, why? I said, because I'm going to buy all these properties that were destroyed. So I tie up a bunch of properties that are destroyed, 12 of them. And then I realized I don't have enough money to close them all. So I get an introduction to George, and I go to his office in Coral Gables, and I put the deals on the table. And at the time, his wife today was his assistant, Darlene. Pretty girl then, pretty girl now. And we sat at in his office. He had a little round conference table with 4 chairs. And he takes 4 of the deals, and he said, see these deals? I'm going to show you how to do them without me. And he goes, these 8 deals, I'm going to be your partner. And he said, how much do you have in the deals as a deposit? And what do we have for time to close? I'm like, well, I'll get you all over all the contracts and so forth. And he said, no, how much money do you have in the deals? He said, because I want you to leave with a check. We're going to sign a 1-page agreement, or we're going to shake hands. I want to true up with you right now. And I said, you don't have to do that. I said, a few days, let's do an agreement. We did it. I came back. I went and got the check, okay? Because back then you used to get checks.
It was actually a check, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Was it either a disbursement check or a check? And I go there to get the check, and Darlene says, no, wait. He wants to talk to you. And I said, okay. I waited about a half an hour, drank a bunch of coffee. He comes out, and he said, Mark, can you find more of these deals? I said, yeah, they're all over the place. I said, and I know a lot of the operators because I'm in those markets. And he said, all right, buy as much as you can. Just bring me the deals, okay? And we'll partner together. I said, well, now I got my capital back. He said, don't even worry about the capital. Just bring me the deals.
Yep.
So I proceeded to buy a bunch more deals with him. And when Thomas Kramer, I don't know if you know who that guy is, got his third rape charge, there were three of us that were partners with him in the affordable side of his business. And we had a lot of units with him. I learned a lot. I learned I hate the light tech business. And he needed to pledge his apartment portfolio to buy the Portofino Towers and then buy the Portofino Group. And that was how I ended up being a partner. I had a small piece in the Portofino Tower. And that was how I learned how to build the vertical. And then I got the scattered sites all over south of Fifth. And he's really a great guy.
Yeah.
It's like we partnered on a deal with Joe Milton. You probably don't know who Joe Milton is, but he's the largest apartment owner in South Florida.
I think they're one of the secretly quietest, richest families in
Yeah,
all of the state of Florida.
And I'm friendly with David, but partnered with Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm dating myself, but I will tell you that these are real guys. These are real men, like the way you are. Okay, it's a good deal. I like the deal. All right, here's a $500,000 deposit. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to close the deal. If I can't get debt, I'm going to write a check for the debt.
Right.
Okay, I'm just going to close the deal. And I don't think that mentality exists anymore. You know,
I think it does with the players that you're still saying, but we have something that's different in Miami that most places don't. You know, you get a guy who just sold his, I always say, sold his shoe company in Venezuela for $100 million and says, now I want to be a developer in Miami. And you get these guys coming in that don't really understand the market, don't understand the politics, don't understand the zoning, but they got money. Mm-hmm. And they start building, but they're stealing buyers from the good guys, and they're getting aggressive. And a lot of those deals don't work out. And there's been a lot of them. I mean, there's been a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't personally been in it yet, but they were talking about the Aston Martin building. I think it is a Brazilian family or something. They never built anything, and that's where they started. It's like that's a risky place to start with the 70-story building on the water.
Well, Regalia.
Regalia's another one.
Bomini.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Bomini partnered with the Birdmans, Louis Birdman and Harvey, who Harvey taught me the conversion business on
I think
1000 Museum.
I knew both of them. I think Louis is brilliant. He was my neighbor for years. He's an artist. He knows how to get stuff done.
Louis was an architect.
Yeah. But he's creative. One thing, when I first met him, the market got really bad. It was 07, 08, 09, whatever. And he had a bunch of apartment complexes.
Yeah.
And he started converting them to things for kids. He said, this one we're going to make a soccer academy. This one we're going to make a tennis academy. The parents will have to come stay. I was like, this guy's brilliant. And, you know, he always finds a way to survive. And that's no secret why he's behind, 10 Museum, because he's an artist. He's good.
You know, his father taught me the conversion business. And it's still to this day, I still use those numbers, those tolerances on how I would do a deal. And they still work. And Harvey wasn't necessarily, I think, what's his name of his Sunvest International or something?
I think that was his son something.
Harvey wasn't necessarily into real estate. He was into finance.
Yeah. So
he financed all the conversions and then he sold the paper.
Yeah.
And that's also, I mean, there's so much to do in our business that people don't really realize it. And when I tell people, and for me, one of the things that's become a passion is since we started doing the social media, this young man was the one who filmed my first video that might have did 7.5 million views in a day.
Who filmed the video of you jumping out of a plane?
The other guys.
Oh, the other guy. I was like, that's a good video.
The guy that jumped out with us.
No, he didn't.
So,
he's got to be loyal. You got to throw him out of the plane with you.
No, he wasn't going up in the plane. No, they weren't going up in the plane.
I wouldn't do it either.
So that was pretty exhilarating. Yeah. You know, it's definitely not like a ride at Disneyland.
No.
Okay.
You
But
bring
you
me up
don't
on a
even
plane,
have-
I'd like to go back down.
You
in that
don't
same
even
plane.
have time to think about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but under the FAA rules, if you go up in the plane, the only way you're going down is getting out of the plane.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can't panic and not go?
One of my guys that runs
Oh.
one of our programs, he was explaining this to me because he's been a jumper for a long time. And there were these guys, there were 3 guys in front of us that jumped, and I think maybe we're 40, 50 seconds, you're free falling, not a long time.
Right.
And from all the way at 10,500 feet above the ground, and it's 6 minutes from when you get out to when you get down. And the view is insane. Where we were at Executive,
Yeah.
so Homestead. You can see the beginning of the Keys. You can see all the Everglades. You can see downtown Miami. And we live in the most gorgeous fucking place in the world.
We do.
And I think when people come here, they become enamored with it. Now, granted, like I was telling you outside, there are certain women that are pariah that, take advantage of naive guys like me. And I'm not that much of a naive guy. But there is such a great quality of life. And I always tell people that here, the streets are paved with gold. You just have to go and look at them. And we've been doing this thing where we'll get out in the car and we'll go drive around.
Yep. And
we'll look at a deal, okay? We found a deal, 3 miles from here. And probably some, not the kind of stuff that you would do, but it was a commercial building.
Right.
Building sold right down the street for $1 million more. I don't know why this thing was underpriced, but the rental rate's like 50 net over there. And we're running the numbers, and it's like, if you bought it for this, because that's what they wanted, just paid full boat, put in $500,000, you'd make a quick $1 million. Okay, and I don't think people realize, maybe because you know it and I know it, okay? We did it, some warehouse stuff years and years ago, but apartments for us is just, it's just easy. It's just it's comfortable. It's a space that we know.
That's what makes it so great, is you know what you're doing. You can look at a deal in 5 seconds and know if you like it, and your stomach will always lead you the right way.
Yeah. So we do the video, and it's of Grant, okay? And he got really mad at me, okay? We unfriended each other, then we became friends again when we had a face-to-face. And he even sent me a cease and desist letter. And that one video created all this, created all the followers, and we actually used to have more followers on TikTok, but our account got taken down because of Andrew Tate, because he's an anti-Semite, who we've been trying to do a podcast with. So they took that down, and then we opened up a new one, and then all of a sudden the Instagram just started growing. And literally, people reach out to me from social media to talk about deals.
Oh, yeah.
To ask, would you like to look at this deal? I have this deal. And I can't believe the power of it. And for me, I can't believe these 2 young men wanted to come and meet me. Okay, I'm still getting used to it. You actually have a voice if you want to have a voice using social media.
It's not even just a voice. It's, I tell all the people who do leasing in our office, you guys have to use social media. It'll change the game. We have a young lady came in, and she's done a few videos. I think her TikTok, she told me, has like 2,000, 2,500 total followers. She did 3 leases in the last month. All 3 of them came from TikTok. She made around $30-something thousand in commissions.
Amazing.
But it gets better. She did a video the other day with 2,000-something followers about a restaurant for sale. Not one of my deals, something she found. And she's in there, and she's, personally, she's like, "Hello, TikTok family. This is the place. Here's what it is." And she walks around and gives a tour. In one day, she got 120,000 views. So she said, okay, this is great action. Off of 2,000 followers, that's how viral it went. But then she said, I'm going to do an open house here tomorrow. She said there was a crowd there wanted to buy this restaurant. So now she bridged that into getting all these contacts, all these referrals. It didn't cost her a dime. She walked around. Maybe she had a stick or something or someone holding the camera, but there was no cost to do it. There was nothing. Everything got done for her. Not only did she sell the place, which hasn't closed yet, she sells the restaurant. She's got a whole new market of buyers now and a whole new market of clients. There's no other way to do that fast. One video, 120,000 views. As I said, it's like 5 times the Miami Arena watching your video.
I love that.
And she just started. So yeah, when you get bigger and bigger, it gets easier and easier.
Yeah, what I don't really understand is people actually, and sometimes I'll read the comments, people actually think they know who you are from watching a video. Now, we don't do a lot about what I drive, or we don't do a lot of that very rarely.
Right.
We actually started doing some workout videos. I actually posted some videos on the beach on Sunday, and it's weird. People want to see that stuff. I don't get it. I really don't.
They want to do what you're doing, so they want to know more about your life. So the more you share, the bigger you get. I mean, look, there's no secret. Who's the biggest internet celebrity there is Kim Kardashian, but she's going to expose everything about her life. So hence, you'll become a billionaire if you could do it at that level, but you got to deliver everything. You got to show the good and the bad. You got to show, your fancy cars and your jets. You got to show your divorces. You got to show the problems with the kids. And if you're willing to do that, there'll be another Kim Kardashian, but she's probably the pioneer. But the more you disclose, the more you're going to get a following.
Is she single? She's still single?
She might be. I don't keep tabs on her.
I don't know.
She's too far away. She's in California. You need a local one.
Yeah.
There's plenty of local ones here.
There's definitely is. There definitely is. There's a lot.
But it's the greatest thing to do. And even guys like at our age, like I just started just over 2 years ago. I said, these great guys from School of Hard Knocks got me into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I don't really know. Funny you said Grant, because I'm like, I'm not Grant Cardone having a camera follow me. They're like, no. We'll make some videos, we'll chop them up, and we'll do them like, that's why if you watch my videos, I'm wearing the same thing for like 30 days in a row. It's not that I wear the same outfit, it's chopped up.
I like the way you dress.
Right.
I like your suits.
And it took off, and it just kept on going. I said, oh my God. And it gets faster and faster and faster, because as it grows, that's how the algorithm works. But it's not just that you get people offering you deals. It's really great. Like you said, I said, I'm going down to see you. These guys want to meet you. Like, you inspire them. You're a lot older than him. You're probably older than his dad. But they want to meet you because they want to learn from you, because they aspire to be you. And if that doesn't give you energy to go kick ass every day, I don't know what would.
Well, I just jumped out of a fucking plane. So
that part I don't agree with.
Yeah, that was a little hairy. So yeah.
That's why you got to share it.
They would have liked the I can't say it. They would have liked the girl last night.
You could have filmed that.
Yeah. She's Jewish, she's Israeli, and she's a runway model. Yeah. Yeah. And she didn't want to go home, so she stayed. And she made the bed this morning. That was a good thing.
See, I just talked about Kim Kardashian disclosing. He's telling the whole story now.
She passed one test, okay? So, but I have a hard time. I just like women. I think I'm obsessed. Maybe because I'm a girl dad.
It's a good and a bad vice.
It's a terrible vice.
Yes, I think it's great. It's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, look, what was last night? Tuesday night, you're out at Mother Wolf. How bad is life? Things are good.
It's Wednesday.
Most people are home watching TV, going to bed at 9 o'clock. You're out having the time of your life. You're doing the right thing.
We were in bed by like 9:30.
Okay.
I went to sleep at 11, but we were in bed.
He's really disclosing. Go ahead, show us the video.
She will fucking kill me. She'll stab me. I mean,
once you said
all Israeli girls, they're all in the
Israeli,
army.
she could kill you.
Yeah. Let her kill me.
You got to go. What they say, go with the smile.
Yes, definitely. You have some really good things you say. What is the biggest mistake or the biggest regret you have in life?
Not being aggressive enough. When I knew the real estate was working, I could have bought a lot more, but I had that mindset that, no, you got to buy, you got to stabilize. And, you look at a deal, if you're buying the deal when I got started, 5, 6, 700,000, then you break the million. And there's guys out there that are half my age that are going to start crushing me because they're just more aggressive. And they're going to be right if they don't over leverage and they have time. So now at 52, almost 53 years old, I don't have the same timeline. But I wish every single property I didn't buy, I could have bought and it would have been right. But I didn't have the guts to do it because, we all back off. And even when you're right, you still back off. So I wish I was more aggressive.
The same. I should have went bigger, even though we've done about $5 billion. Yeah. I should have did $20 billion.
Right.
Absolutely. Because, when you're in the space and you borrow money, okay, and when you borrow $300, $400, $500 million from one specific lender, one of our bigger lenders is an insurance company called Mass Mutual, and they'll never let me fail.
Right.
I'm not a borrower. I'm their fucking partner.
You are their partner.
And they'll never let me fail. They may want to tell me how to spend my money, okay?
Right.
But they'll never, ever, ever let you fail. From a regret standpoint, what's the biggest regret?
I'm going to be honest and should be honest. The biggest regret I have is I got involved in a reality TV show.
You did a reality TV show?
I didn't want to, but I did get involved in one.
What was it?
The Housewives of Miami.
Really?
You really learn how fake and manipulated it is, but people believe it. And you try in the beginning to defend yourself, like, no, but it's edited, it's not real, this is like all scripted, like this scene, like, and then you realize people actually believe it, and then you actually become, and I've got a lot of confidence, but then you start realizing people must think I'm a total jerk off because they saw this scene. They don't realize this was edited, this was planned, like this is it. But they watch these shows and they think it's real. Yet if you ask any fan of reality TV, they go, oh, I know it's fake. But they think what you did actually happened. And then you try and find yourself explaining, and it just turned into one big giant mess, and it actually led to a divorce with my wife, who was actually the star of the show.
I'm sorry.
So you watch the demise and the power of reality TV, and I've learned a lot more about it after these years of being on it. I said, and I hate to say, because I met a lot of nice people from reality TV, but there's not one success story out of it. And I see a lot of young kids saying, oh, I want to be a reality TV star. I'm like, no, you don't. Because you can't find me one person that it's actually worked for. And then they'll say, oh, well, there's Bethany Frankel. It worked for her. She made a lot of money. Well, yeah, she made a lot of money, but I don't know that it worked for her. And I see her personality. I don't think she would have been any worse off without the show. I think she was going to be a killer anyway. She's aggressive. But you watch all these shows, they're all like, the Housewives is a perfect example. All the women are divorced. It just destroys lives. People wind up in jail. These young kids who do it, that, I saw these kids the other day from like Vanderpump Rules. They're in drug rehab. Like, it just destroys your life. So even as a smart guy who was very accomplished, who got involved in my late 40s in this stuff, who should have known better, you learn the hard way. You got to really be careful what you get yourself involved in, because they'll take you to hell.
Wow.
So that's the biggest regret. And I don't really have a lot of regrets. I'll probably look back on it in 5 years and say, you don't regret the things you did, but as you're going through it, you really regret it. You're like, why the hell did I ever get myself involved in this stupidity? I got nothing out of it. I didn't get paid. I never even got a free dinner anywhere.
So it's all scripted?
It's all fake.
It's all fake.
They don't tell you the words to come out of your mouth, but what they sure as hell do say is, okay, you guys need to go there, need to talk about this brand, and you don't like that brand, right? And then you talk, and then you're going to have a 20-minute conversation. So you could say it's the greatest thing ever, and you had a stomachache last night, and the scene that's going to make it is, this thing gave me a stomachache last night. And that's what the shows are. But they're supposed to be fun and enjoyable, but for the people who do it, it's not so fun.
Wow. I didn't know that. Nope, we're not doing any reality shows. We actually were asked to do a movie. I don't know if we're going to do it.
A movie could be a little bit more fun.
I don't know if we're going to do it. We'll think about it, or I'm thinking about it.
Just don't give up creative control. Don't ever let somebody have control of how they edit your personality, because any person you follow, and it's funny because just the other day I was out with this guy here and he's recording me. I'm like, no. I don't want to be recorded, because you can cut that and slice that, and all of a sudden I could have said the nicest thing and you're a jerk. So you can never give up that control to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, number one, this is all real conversation.
Right.
And, the way we edit stuff is we pretty much edit it true to form.
Right.
the way you see me or the way my videos are, the way I am, it's just me. Okay. Even when I go to speak, I typically don't even prepare anything. I typically just speak extemporaneously off the top of my head. So we spoke on Friday. I don't even know what it was. It was in the casino. First time in the casino.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a gambler. You know, I gamble enough on real estate.
That's
And
enough.
I go to the casino. It was actually nice.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice.
Which one you went to? The Hard Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm speaking, and they tell me you have 15 minutes. And then I realize I got to get back to Miami Beach for Shabbat. So they bump me up, and I do my speech, and you know, it's like 15 minutes, and you're not wired up. You have a mic, which I hate. Okay. And I was just rambling on about life. You know, we had a presentation. There's no way I could do it. And just rambling on, just bullshit about life. And it was crazy because everything that I said to all the people in the audience was what I firmly believe and how I feel. And when I got off the stage, everybody stood up. It was a beautiful standing ovation. And I just think it's because of living yourself or your life out loud and being genuine to who you are. And I don't think we see a lot of that anymore. I think here in South Florida, besides these young men, I think you're going to see a lot of people that are just full of crap.
Yeah. And I think
So-
some people are scared to tell the truth. I think that they're so worried about their image and what people are going to think. And if they're going to get into an argument, I think people keep a lot of stuff to themselves. So to find a guy like you who's authentic, that's going to say what the hell they want to say, it's rare.
Yeah, we actually, I don't know if these young guys know Ben Batter. We actually went to his funeral after I jumped out of the plane. We went to a funeral on Monday. And this is a young guy, social media guy, passed away at 25. Got to meet his mom, his dad, and they really, these young, in their 20s, they really celebrated his life. It was pretty amazing to see that.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what do we have for time?
We're at 58 minutes.
58 minutes. So, if you want the world to know, because this is going out to the world. Okay?
Hello, world.
If you want them to know one thing that's going to change their life and one thing that you feel is super necessary for the generations before us to know, tell everybody.
Good question. If there's only one thing, I'd probably tell people not to worry so much. If you get up every day and you work hard, it'll all come true. It just won't come true as fast as you think. And I meet a lot of people that have these expectations of what they're going to do in a year. You know, they start in real estate. I'm going to make $1 million this year. And I never want to be negative because it's possible, but it's not realistic. But yet they underestimate what they could do in 5 or 10. So it's really flattering and nice when people want to hear my story of how I developed my real estate and how I built my business. And they're like, wow, it's so good. It's so, yeah, but it wasn't like that the first couple of years. And even now, like I'll buy a property now and I'll look like an idiot for a couple of years. It takes time. But if you just keep putting in the work and chugging forward, no matter how hard it gets, just make forward progress, you will look back in 10, 20 years, it'll work out. So don't overestimate, the first year, but don't underestimate the 10. And don't worry so much. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be there.
God willing it will, but I have a young guy in my office the other day. I think he's 21, 22. And he's saying, well, I don't know if I'm going to meet a girl to get married. I'm like, oh, you want to get married? He's like, no, not till I'm in my 30s. I'm like, well, we were about it for today. But
have fun.
But I never thought like that when I was young. So I think that these guys have stuff in their head and they get caught up, guys and girls, and they see the social media and they think it's instant gratification. All we had at our age was, lifestyle, rich and famous. We had it, but it was on TV. It was on TV once a week. They have it in front of them all day. So just don't worry so much. Just work hard. It'll be okay.
That's super great advice. Where are they going to find you?
Well, if you want to see my social media, I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram under my name, Todd Nepola, and Life According to Todd. If you want to get a great book for charity, it's Keeping It Real on Commercial Real Estate. And that's where they'll find me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
No, thank you. We're gonna have you come back. Maybe we'll do a podcast on site somewhere. One of your deals.
Why are you saying this one wasn't good? You're going to come back and we're going to do it better.
We're gonna do, no. We usually typically get it out. We see the reaction, and then we'll do it again. Okay.
Well, the next time I'm going to definitely wear my suit like I like to wear my suit.
And
But it was so cold today in Miami.
And I'll wear a sweater. I usually wear a suit because my father's father, he wore a 3-piece suit to work.
I love it. I wear a suit almost every single day, but this morning it was freezing cold. I'm like, I got to put a sweater on.
It was yesterday was so freaking cold. I bundled up. I put on actually a jacket.
I put the heater on in the car. I'm not afraid to admit it. And actually, the valet had it on when I got in the car. I was like, you just make it warmer.
Nice.
It's cold,
nice,
so.
Nice.
But this was an absolute pleasure. It's great to meet you in person, and I look forward to doing some stuff together.
Thank you, guys. If you're not following Todd, get off your motherfucking ass and follow him, okay? And start watching his videos because he gives you real life, real advice on real estate. Forget all these other fucking guys that are full of shit because they all are, okay? They rented a Lamborghini. They borrowed somebody's penthouse, okay? And they don't know what it is to make a debt service payment. Thank you guys for listening. Let's go.